he really seemed harmless.
She's talking about the man accused of mass murder at a historic black church. We're learning more about his background. Plus,
the governor trying to crack down on a growing problem. How do you deal with addiction to prescription drugs and opium?
Live and local with coverage you can count on. This is WNEM-TV5 News at 11.
An all clear right now as you take a look at the TV5 Sky Tracker. As you know, it was a whole different story earlier tonight.
This tree fell when heavy storms moved through, and it blocked traffic for a while at Pine and Youngs Ditch Road in Bay City. But the good news, not many reports of damage. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I'm David Custer in for Sam.
And I'm Meg McLeod in for Carrie. We'll show you more of what rolled through in just a moment. But first, here's Chief Meteorologist Brian Bachman. So Brian, are we in the clear tonight?
We are, David and Meg. Things all clear out there tonight. In fact, the skies themselves beginning to clear in a lot of places out there. So that's the good news there. And you know the saying, if you don't like the weather in Michigan, wait 5 minutes. That's almost true tonight, maybe a little bit longer than 5 minutes, but things markedly different than they were just about 4 hours ago. Most importantly, we've gotten all of the shower and thunderstorm activity out of the region. You can see the nearest ones well out into Ontario at this point. They're going to continue eastward, but more importantly, you get north of about Aranac County along the M55 corridor. Your skies are essentially clear at this point, and that trend will continue to kind of expand across the rest of mid-Michigan tonight because we have a nice fair weather zone of high pressure currently sitting over northern Wisconsin. That's going to roll into the region for tomorrow. It will knock the temperatures down pretty well below normal, as you'll see coming up in a little bit, but still going to be a very, very nice day with plenty of sun. 67 degrees right now, reporting clear skies in Bay City, 64 in Saginaw, a little bit more in the way of some passing clouds. The dew points starting that process of gradually coming down. We'll really feel the lower humidity as we head into tomorrow. 69 degrees in Flint and still overcast there, and 67 in Midland. So it's going to be a cool but very nice day to take that boat out on the water tomorrow, and you won't have to be looking over your shoulder for any storms. We'll have your full weekend forecast, which also looking pretty good, coming up in just a little bit.
As promised, here's a look at the storm as it rolled through. This was taken by our crew at Hoyt Park in Saginaw, but viewers sent in some pretty impressive shots.
Yeah, thank you to Andrew for this one of the storm just before it hit Bay City. And this one right here is from Kurt, taken near State Park, also in Bay City.
Stephanie sent in this as the storm approached Caro in Tuscola County. And Amy posted this to our Facebook page. It was taken in Fairgrove.
And a quick reminder, when severe weather hits, be sure to go to our homepage.
We're learning more about the background of the man accused in last night's mass murder in South Carolina.
That's where 21-year-old Dylan Roth is behind bars tonight after his arrest this morning in North Carolina. Reports say Roth recently told a friend he believed black people were, quote, taking over the world, and someone needed to do something for the white race. Police say he entered the church around 8 and was there for an hour at a Bible study before opening fire.
All units responding, 110 Calhoun State.
Active shooter, multiple people down.
Six women and 3 men, died. 3 people were injured. Surveillance images from the church helped a woman spot him on her way to work in North Carolina in the town of Shelby.
I was able to see him. I was able to get behind him. I was able to get his tag number. I was directly behind him at a stoplight. And everything going through my mind was like, what ifs? What ifs?
Roth was arrested without incident. Sources say police found a .45 caliber pistol in the car, which matches the casings found at the church.
He lived at this home outside Columbia, according to a recent arrest report. In February, his, quote, out of the ordinary questions at a mall brought in police who found drugs on him. He was banned from the mall, but returned and was arrested again.
A woman who lives near Roth's home says he didn't do anything to cause her concern.
I listen, I look, I take, mental pictures of people in the neighborhood, and I have seen the kid, and he really seemed harmless.
The Southern Poverty Law Center, which tracks hate crimes, says Roth was never on their radar. As for where he may have gotten the murder weapon, sources say his father recently gave him a gun for his 21st birthday.
Switching gears now, Indiana is in the news tonight. People there will soon be allowed to make, sell, and own sawed-off shotguns. A law taking effect next month will legalize the weapons. Currently, it's a felony for someone in Indiana to have one. There are some restrictions for those interested in getting those guns.
You pay a $200 tax stamp on it, and to my knowledge, the way it works is it takes about 6 to 9 months for the paperwork and background to go through to even possess that firearm.
The new law includes a 10-year sentence enhancement for anyone who possesses a sawed-off shotgun while committing certain crimes.
Across Michigan, a bill in the state house would take wedding ceremonies out of the hands of public officials and leave them for religious leaders. Republican Todd Corser of Lapeer introduced the bill in anticipation of the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling on same-sex marriage. It was referred to committee. Now, people on Facebook are weighing in. Dustin calls it a feeble attempt to stop marriage equality. Paula says the government should not be involved in marriage. And Craig points out non-religious people need an option. Well, let us know what you think. Post your comments to our Facebook page.
Detroit's most famous metal rap duo's latest gig is in federal court. Insane Clown Posse says its fans, known as juggalos, are unfairly described as gang members by federal law enforcement. A judge has already ruled the Justice Department is not responsible for how authorities use that report. An appeals court heard arguments today. The ACLU says the group's right to due process is being violated.
New tonight, it's a growing problem, and now the governor is taking steps to fight the abuse of prescription drugs and opiates. TV5's Andrew Keller explains what Snyder's doing and what people on the front lines are saying.
Michael Jacobs coaches baseball, but says more importantly he keeps his boys on the straight and narrow, knowing outside influences are a constant threat.
My kids out here ain't gonna be anybody. That's why I'm out here with them.
But there's a problem delivering a dangerous high at an alarming rate to young people. Prescription drugs and opioids. It's an addiction, Jacobs says, is poisoning countless kids.
It starts right there at the doctor's office. They're the ones who're giving it all out.
And painkillers can and have led to the use of heroin. It's a problem so bad in our state, the governor has formed a task force to tackle it.
We've seen a spike in heroin overdoses and deaths.
Saginaw County Sheriff Bill Fetterspiel says the problem has spiraled out of control in the last year in mid-Michigan. The bipartisan task force will look at trends and options to come up with a statewide action plan by this fall. Next year, $1.5 million will go toward addressing the issue.
The governor's office is on the right track by creating a task force because what comes with that drug use is an increase in crime such as theft and burglary and assault.
Who is that?
But not everyone is buying into a task force being the correct solution. Jacobs says he has a better way.
The money they spend trying to fight that, if they was to spend some more of that money helping these kids, we'd have a better society around here on that alone, you know.
And here's an alarming fact. Since 1999, the number of people who have overdosed and died because of prescription drugs or opioids has quadrupled. The governor says the trend must come to an end. Live in the Continuous News Center, I'm Andrew Keller, WNEM-TV5.
People bidding a tuneful farewell to a giant among local musicians. Nick Opperman was a founder of the new Reformation Dixieland Band and had served as executive director of the Saginaw Bay Symphony Orchestra. He died this past November. Tonight, he was memorialized at First Congregational Church in Saginaw, and there was a jam session afterward.
Well, it's the Terminator like you've never seen him before.
In a wax museum. So what makes him our video of the night? Stick around to see what happens.
A brewer pulls one of its beers after people complain, and you might even say they had a holy cow. We'll explain in tonight's Talker.
A scuffle aboard a bus involving a passenger and 4 officers. You'll have a hard time believing the reason behind it.